Boo! There's the intro. Did I scare you? No, I didn't. I probably offended half of you and sexually assaulted the other half. Anyway, let's get into my favorite Halloween movies. Well, that's not even the right title. These are movies I'm going to watch this Halloween. I don't consider these the best horror films. Some of them I do. But these are just the movies I have in my stack to watch over the next 5 days on the final countdown to Halloween. And first up, it's The Hills Have Eyes, the remake. And the remake of The Hills Have Eyes is far superior than the original. It's well done. I love the music. And here's what I really love about this movie is this movie holds back nothing. They go for it. I mean, they go full throttle for it, man. And I just held my fist up and I squeezed it. And a little bit of that happens in this movie. My favorite thing about this movie is the nerdy geek in the beginning of the movie who sells cell phones for a living. He ends up being the hero, and they have that whole epic western tone music vibe going at the end. And this is just brutal. It's my kind of movie, and definitely. I was impressed the first time I seen it, and I just watched it again last night, and it held true. And definitely check out the remake of The Hills Have Eyes. Don't check out the second part. Don't do that. Don't watch Hills Have Eyes Part 2. Don't do that. You're better than that. Next up, it's the Wes Craven collection, and this comes with The Serpent and the Rainbow, which I'm not going to watch. I don't, but it does come with Shocker, and Shocker is a terrific, terrible 1980s cheesiness, poorly made movie. And basically it's about this serial killer, and I had a speech impediment right there for a second, but it's about the serial killer who he kills all these people, but then he gets the electric chair, and after he dies in the electric chair, his spirit's reincarnated, and he has the power to flow through electricity. And in one scene in the movie, he's chasing his victims, and he's going through all these different channels on TV, like a home cooking channel and all this other bullshit. It's quite cheesy and funny. And my favorite line, the serial killer in this movie, by the way, looks like Stone Cold Steve Austin. He has a shaved head. But one line remains with me all of my life ever since I've seen this movie, and it's finger-licking good. Anyway, this also comes with The People Under the Stairs, and this is the kind of movie that everyone needs to watch. And basically, it's these weird people. The ones... How do I describe it? I was going to use the word sex gimp because the father in this movie, he dresses up like a leather sex gimp and runs around with a shotgun trying to kill a kid that snuck into the house. But basically, they keep these kids under the stairs. I mean, I guess the title says it all. And yeah, they get really pale and white and they start... It's weird. It's a bizarre movie, but check it out. Next up, it's Emilio Estevez starring in Maximum Overdrive. And this is... when I was younger, I had an obsession with semi-trucks. And I don't know if I think there's a term for that. People who make love to vehicles. I don't remember the term, but anyway, it's got a young Emilio in it. And these trucks come to life and they start killing everyone at this, across the entire planet. And it's funny when you think about it. It's just like, I'm pretty sure I could, I don't know. I don't think a truck, a big semi, would threaten me that much. You know what I mean? I don't want to sound like a tough ass, but like, I would just go to the second story of a building, maybe, or, I don't know. Fucking trucks, man, that kill people. Watch it. Alrighty, next up, it's the best of the best. This is what horror films are all about. This is where it started, and this is where it's going to end. It's Halloween, the original, starring Jamie Lee Curtis. And on a side note, Jamie Lee Curtis has always done something for me. I've always been fascinated with her on very many different levels. And the only thing that turned me off about her is when she started doing those Actavia commercials for the yogurt that makes you, your bowel movements come more fluid-like. Anyway, this movie, this is what defined the whole slasher era of horror films. This is what inspired movies like Friday the 13th. And there's not a lot of blood in this movie at all. But, that just goes to prove the point. You don't need blood, guts, and gore to make a good horror film. You just need suspense and a guy wearing a Captain Kirk mask that was bleached out a little bit and the hair frizzes up. If you guys didn't get the joke, just go look up Captain Kirk mask on Google, okay? You'll get the joke. And on a side note, the intro to this movie is amazing, where it starts off with the camera outside the house, and it's kind of like a first-person killer mode view, and it's walking around all creepy looking through their windows, and it comes back through, and you can have the little arm, and then it walks up the stairs, and he kills his sister, and you can see the knife. Anyway, I did a parody of that, and if you guys want to check that out, it's not even up yet. Why am I telling you to check it out? It'll be up in a few days. How's that? Anyway, next up is Halloween 2. And it's, a lot of people say this is a worthwhile. Did I say that right? It doesn't matter. A worthwhile sequel to the original Halloween. And a lot of people say this is on the same level. And I have to disagree. It's a good part 2. But the thing about this Halloween 2, what they did is they kept a lot of the suspense. They got a lot of the things that made the original so good. But what they did is, this came out in the early 80s, and by the time this came out in the early 80s, crowds wanted, they wanted slash, they wanted guts, they wanted gore. So with the original cut of this movie, John Carpenter wasn't happy. He didn't direct the movie, but he went back and did the reshoots for it, and what he went back and did is he went and added more gore and guts and, you know, more, like when they dipped the lady's face in the boiling water kind of stuff. And I guess they did that because they wanted to satisfy the audiences in the 80s to kind of keep up with Friday the 13th and all of that. But in my opinion, I think that's kind of what tarnished the movie a little bit, because I like the more of the suspense. I don't need to see her face melting off. It doesn't scare me, you know what I mean? A dark figure in the shadows following me, that's scary. Because it's, I don't know, it touches on a little bit more realism, in my opinion. Anyway, realism, yeah, the guy gets shot 15 times at the end of the first movie, and he's still okay. So, obviously, I'm talking out of my ass right now, but let's continue. Next up is the Exorcist movie, and I haven't seen this movie in probably, I'm going to say at least 10 years. And just a movie I'm going to wait a few more days. I'm going to watch it a little bit closer to Halloween. I remember absolutely nothing about this movie except, you know, her head spins around. She does some weird shit with the crucifix. You guys know what I'm talking about. And anyway, yeah, a little girl who's possessed by the demons inside, and she has a filthy mouth. So I can't wait to check that out. Next up, it's a Texas... Whoa, it almost slipped out there, huh? Not the first time I've had to say that. Yes, it is. Anyway, it's Texas Chainsaw... It's Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the remake. And let me explain myself here. Don't get mad at me, because I'm not going to watch the original this Halloween. I watched it last Halloween, damn it. And I love the remake of this movie. A worthwhile remake. They did a good job. The filming's good. The suspense is good. And Leatherface in this movie, man, what a badass. I mean, when this guy's chasing them, I would crumble and panic and get in the fetal position and let him just stick that chainsaw. Actually, he would, yeah, he wouldn't, no, he wouldn't do that. He would, what would he do? He'd probably take me back to his basement and put me on a meat hook. Then he'd cut my face off and wear it. Anyway, just a great remake. Definitely, and Jessica Biel. Yeah, is it Jessica Biel or Alba? Yeah, Jessica Biel. Anyway, Jesus, look at that tank top. It's got a little bit of dirt on it, but, you know. Next up, it's the Sixth Sense starring Bruce Willis. And this movie... This is the kind of movie that gives you goosebumps. I mean, little scenes in this movie, I mean, I get cold watching them. I shake a little bit. Basically, a movie about ghost and kind of... it's definitely not a slasher flick. It's a thriller. It's a suspense kind of film, I guess. And if you've never seen this movie, you are in for a... I wish I'd never seen this movie, so I could go back and watch it again all over, just so I could, at the very end, just... But real quick... before I get you too pumped up for it, this movie does have Haley Joel Osment in it, and I hate that little bastard. I wish he was dead. I wish he never existed, and he doesn't belong on this earth. Alrighty, next up, continuing on with the remakes, and yeah, I know a lot of remakes, and it's Dawn of the Dead, and I have the, hang on, bear with me for a moment here. I have the original, there it is, There it is right there. But I already watched that, so I'm not going to watch it for this Halloween because I just watched it like 3 weeks ago. So technically, I mean, I did watch it for Halloween. So yeah, I did watch the original, but I'm going to watch the remake. And I always loved movies that were where people were stuck in one place. That's a fantasy of mine, amongst others, where I would be stuck with a group of preferably a few at least attractive women in one spot, and we had to make do with what we had. I don't know why, just something about being stuck in a mall would be really cool to me. I mean, yeah, there's zombies outside and everyone I know is dead, but you know what, big deal, because I'm in here with all these TVs and I have weed whackers and there's a Starbucks over there, but really the Starbucks probably wouldn't do me any good because I don't drink coffee. Anyway, Dawn of the Dead, definitely check that out. Worthwhile remake, and a pretty cool movie. It's Nightmare on Elm Street, the box set, and this is the horror films I grew up on. My sisters were Freddy Krueger, what were they? I don't know, groupies? I guess I'll call my sisters groupies for a child molester who murders children and has third-degree burns. Anyway, this movie, all of these movies, I love every single one for a different reason. Now, they're not all good. Half of them are terrible. But anyway, the original Nightmare on Elm Street is by far the best. That is the scariest movie. When they have that body bag being dragged through the hallways. Nancy. And then Freddy's Dead, I remember that. They said that was going to be the last one. It wasn't. It has Tom Arnold in it. Yeah, you don't need to watch Freddy's Dead. Plus, it was in 3D, and the 3D looked like shit. I remember seeing it in theaters, actually, when I was probably about 8 years old. Yeah. And then Wes Craven's New Nightmare. Yeah, I didn't like that at all. That didn't do anything for me. And I want to talk a minute about the special features on this. They have this weird special feature option for this box set, and it's where you can go through these hallways and you look at dead bodies and shit. It's really weird, but you have to click and guess. It's like a game. It's really scary. I was too scared to go through the rest of the special features because it's playing this really scary music. You're going through like downstairs to boiler rooms trying to guess the codes to get to the next special feature. You have to type them in and shit. Long story short, the special features they're frightening, man. Don't if you guys know what I'm talking about, maybe comment down below and let me know. Alrighty, and last but certainly least, I do this every Halloween. I abuse myself with this movie. It's Friday the 13th. You're better than that. Anyway, this movie is it's pure cheese. Yeah, it takes Jason out of the woods and it puts him in the concrete jungle of Manhattan. And anyway, yeah, Jason Takes Manhattan. Please watch this. If you haven't watched this, you need to watch this. And if you already have watched this, you know it's a piece of shit. I'll see you in a few days. I have a short little Halloween parody I did. It's kind of based on the Halloween movies. Anyway, that'll be up in a few days, but thanks for watching. Happy Halloween, and I'm John with the FlickPick channel, and I'll see you later. Once again, not scary, just really weird and bizarre. Does anyone else feel uncomfortable? Okay, I'm gonna go. Bye.